Hey guys, Mike here. So I'm gonna give you an update on crypto and what's happening, especially when it comes to Bitcoin, and then two altcoins to pay attention to that are making some big moves. One could, in particular, could make a much bigger move, and I'll show you the charts and why people are saying that as well. And one that has been on a downtrend, what seems like forever, maybe finally breaking out and getting some love. And so we're going to go into all the charts, the news, give you those two altcoins. So if you get anything out of it, hit that like, subscribe button for me, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and start off with Bitcoin and three different charts to look at here. And you're going to see with Bitcoin, obviously it broke down below that 46,700 level, and we're at the fear and greed of 23, so we're back to extreme fear once again. And you know, the next big levels, when you're looking at this right here, what people are really looking at is if it continues to break down and goes below that 43, which some people are predicting, we'll see, it is a massive drop down to, you know, anywhere between 30, 35, we'll say. And you know, if it finally breaks through and holds the 46,700 level, you know, we could see a move back up, but I don't think too many people are predicting that right now. And if we go into what the 10-year treasury yield is doing, since it's correlated to that one, you can see the diversion here all of a sudden on December 27th, when all of a sudden yields on the 10-year treasury took off. And what happened to Bitcoin? It sold off, okay? And normally these correlate, not perfectly, but almost. And so we're trying to figure out is this, you know, something to see? But you can see, looking at the hourly, the yields finally started to actually sell off. You can see right there on January 4th, there Bitcoin starts to drop, yields start to spike again. But then as yields sell off, Bitcoin actually started to move up. So they're moving in opposite directions now. And so we're going to see if yields continue to sell off or continue to go up, and what that could mean for Bitcoin, because normally they do correlate very well. And, you know, a couple things to look at on here, which are still positive for Bitcoin, is, you know, Bitcoin exchange balances trend back to historic lows. BTC withdrawals resume in January. And you can see right here on this chart right here, as the arrow shows to the right, and you can see that downtrend of the exchange reserves they have for Bitcoin right now, which is also positive. And then when you look at a company like MicroStrategy, they just continue to buy and buy and buy and accumulate Bitcoin and hodl it. And another big thing people are looking at is, you can see with this line here where it says retail, we're just buying and holding. But you can see the institutional whales, which own most of Bitcoin, there in the dark shadow boxes is when they're selling. They're actually swing trading more. And so, you know, you can see right here in November through January they were selling, but as January comes up, it seems like they're starting to accumulate. And so you could come into a buying phase coming up in this first quarter here, February, March time frame. And you can see what happens when they do that. The price obviously goes up because they're buying so much of it, just like MicroStrategy does. They buy it by the millions. And of course with Ethereum, guys, the downward trend line is still intact. It's still bouncing off there. It's like it's bouncing off it again today, and still, you know, trending downward. So not much going on with Ethereum right now. And looking at the two altcoins I was talking about is Link and Atom, okay? You might also know Atom as Cosmos, so it's a more popular name. But if you look at them just since the 30th of December, I mean, Atom's up 64%, Link's up 18%. I know that's not much, especially when it comes to crypto, but in fact this Link, which I'm going to go into more detail, has been on such a downward trending slope for so long. Any kind of move up is a big deal for this one and what it could be setting up for. And if you look at Atom in more detail here, you know, the big thing to look at, this is the weekly chart with the Stochastic Rsi right here. And I have a line drawn for you because what's setting up here could be setting up, not guaranteed, but when you look and see the candle breaks through the 12-month moving average, along with the Stochastic Rsi breaking above 58, somewhere in there, you start to get these big moves up. And that's what, if you look to the far right, I have them circled for you. It's starting to set up now. And if we go through each one of them, you can see right here when it happened here, we end up going on a 150% move in 84 days. Then on the second time, we end up going up around 251% in 3 months. And then you're looking at a 447% move in 126 days. Then on the fourth time it happened, you're looking around a 227% return. And then now you can see it starting to break through. And of course, we've been on a run lately. And you look on the hourly here, it's up around 111% in 15 days. And then with Chainlink, what you're looking at here, guys, is this is Chainlink versus Bitcoin. And obviously you see this downward trend forever and a day on that trend line. It's been bouncing off the bottom one there forever, seems like. And then finally you see to the right, it starts to finally break out for the first time since, last July it seems like, in 2020. And you can look at this a little bit closer as we can look at the hourly here. And you can see it actually breaking out for the first time in a long time, which is what a lot of people are talking about. Link on different channels and on Twitter, and some people are actually buying it, as a matter of fact. And so, of course, looking at Atom, obviously, that's not guaranteed to happen, but over the next few weeks, you could see a big move up, because historically, the last 4 times it's happened, those, the planets have aligned right there with that 12-month moving average, with a stochastic RSI, going above a certain level. You have seen these big moves up. It's going to be, something to be patient about. But again, that's just something I wanted to point out to you if you're a holder of it. And then, of course, Link, I see it all over Twitter, people accumulating that or looking at this saying, oh my God, it's finally time to break out, because it has been a painful downward trend for quite a long time. And so, that's something to keep an eye on. Bitcoin, I mean, I've seen all kinds of predictions about this one with and the key levels are the key for this one, right? I mean, if it keeps breaking down right now, because January, historically is not a great month for crypto in general, especially Bitcoin. And so, and we're kind of in this area where people are like, well, we didn't hit all the projections in December. Supposedly should be hitting a bear market unless we're in an extended cycle, which seems like we are in an extended cycle. Now people are arguing, well, is that extended cycle going to go through the first quarter, second quarter, or third quarter? You got the most popular crypto channels out there saying, probably going all the way through the third quarter, even though some of the other big boys are arguing and say, nah, I think it's going to be extended maybe up to summertime. And so that's really what we're looking at. The other thing to pay attention to is, look what happened today. The market sold off, right? I mean, the NASDAQ was down big at one point in time. High growth stocks got pummeled, while you had stocks like, cruise ships, airlines, banks all went up, right? And so that's something to be looking at and paying attention to, because what else is Bitcoin correlated to? The market normally, okay? And so, I mean, it has to do it, but it can, And the other thing that people are trying to figure out is when the altcoin cycle is going to happen, right? When that super cycle, is it happening now? Is it going to happen? That's another question. And so these are things I'm looking at. Everybody's got their own opinion of it. I'm just trying to figure out, be in the middle here and figure out what makes sense. And so, some people are going off technicals. Some people are going off, data I'm about to show you now. But I always like to leave this kind of video with, there are good things that point in a positive direction for Bitcoin still, and cryptocurrency in general. And I think there's 2 things, which I put in a video yesterday as well, talking about something totally different, but it's how big crypto is compared to the other asset classes, right? I mean, 2.5 trillion roughly for crypto, sitting there with 10 trillion for gold, 100 trillion for stocks, 120 trillion for bonds. And then, of course, just looking at the adoption, right? This is I find this chart fascinating. This is how fast people adopt the internet versus how fast they're adopting crypto. And you can see crypto is actually being adopted faster than the internet in its first roughly 7 to 8 years. And a lot of people are projecting this to absolutely crush how fast the internet was adopted. And I read a stat, I don't know if it's true or not, in multiple sources, said that like 90% of people have absolutely no exposure to crypto in the world. Imagine that like 90% don't have any exposure. I mean, and as things keep spreading, you got countries adopting it, companies, and so there's no doubt it's going to keep growing. The cat's out of the bag. So for the long haul, the macro view, things look good. Micro view, short term, it looks volatile. We don't know which way it's going to go. I mean, even the best of the best don't know which way this thing's going to go. Okay, and I watch them all. God knows how many hours I watch on these YouTube crypto channels and Twitter and everything else, trying to take in all the data to at least try to give you a presentation, really the macro view of things. But as far as Atom, look at that over the next few weeks. See if that comes up. See if Link can actually continue breaking out to the upside. We'll see. I think right now you're just getting a lot of swing trading happening right now, because a lot of people are starting to learn they can make a lot of money swing trading crypto, and a lot more people keep getting in and out of it. So that's making it more volatile as well, especially with the market right now. It seems like it should be a positive January, Today caught a lot of people by surprise with the high growth stocks because they were moving up nicely. And so we just have to see what happens, guys. All right, so give me your opinion, what you think's going on, any of those cryptos you want me to try to cover and stuff in this updates I do 1 to 2 times a week. I try to do that for you. But anyway, hope you guys have a good one. If you got something out of it, hit the like, subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow.